Friends, as the temperatures begin to drop and the winter breeze sets in, a very specific and dangerous phenomenon begins to unfold in hospitals across the globe. You may have noticed it in the headlines or heard it in hushed conversations among neighbors. Heart attack cases spike dramatically during the winter months. This isn't just a coincidence, and it isn't a myth passed down by worried grandmothers. This is a documented medical reality. Whether you are in the dense urban centers of India, the suburbs of the US, or the cold reaches of Europe, the data is identical. When the thermometer goes down, the mortality rate from cardiovascular events goes up. But the real question, the one we're going to answer today at Health Hustle, is why? Why does a change in the weather turn our own biology against us? Why does the risk of heart disease suddenly skyrocket when we should be enjoying the cozy comforts of the season? Today, I am going to break this down using a triple lens approach: simple physiology, cutting-edge science, and ancient Ayurvedic wisdom. My name is Nina, and over the years, I have analyzed these trends repeatedly. I've seen how families are blindsided because they didn't realize that winter is the most high-stakes season for the human heart. You pick up a newspaper in December or January, and the stories are heartbreaking. A 20-year-old athlete collapses while jogging. A 50-year-old executive has a stroke during a morning walk. A 30-year-old suffers a massive arrest. We often think they were so young, or they look so healthy. But winter creates a unique metabolic storm that targets even the seemingly fit. By the end of this masterclass, you will not only understand the why, but you will have a 7-point survival plan to keep your heart protected. I will also reveal the 4 worst winter foods that we mistakenly eat for warmth, but which actually act as biological triggers for arterial blockages. This is about staying healthy hustle all year round. Part 2. The science of the cold squeeze, vasoconstriction. To understand the winter heart attack, we first have to understand the physics of your blood vessels. Imagine your arteries are like the plumbing in your house. What happens to pipes when they get cold? They contract. Your body is an incredible machine designed to maintain a core temperature of exactly 37 degrees Celsius, 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. When you step out into the cold, your body realizes it is losing heat through your skin. To prevent you from dying of hypothermia, your brain sends a signal to your peripheral nervous system: conserve heat at all costs. In response, your skin and extremities undergo a process we call vasoconstriction. Your outer blood vessels, the ones near the surface of your skin, literally shrink and tighten. This pushes the blood away from the cold surface and toward your internal organs to keep them warm. The mechanical consequence: while this keeps you warm, it creates a massive mechanical problem. Because the pipes, your vessels, have become narrower, the pump, your heart, has to work significantly harder to push the same amount of blood through a smaller space. Think of a garden hose. If you put your thumb over the end of the hose, the water pressure inside the hose shoots up instantly. That is exactly what happens to your blood pressure in winter. Even if you have normal BP in the summer, the cold can push you into a hypertensive zone. For a healthy person, this is a stress test. But for someone who already has a clogged pipe, someone with existing plaque, or a history of high cholesterol, this sudden spike in pressure is the trigger. The force of the blood can cause a piece of plaque to rupture. Once that plaque tears, a clot forms instantly to fix the tear, and that clot is what causes the heart attack. Part 3. The thickening of the blood viscosity. The second biological hurdle in winter is what I call the sludge factor. Science tells us that our blood actually changes its physical consistency when the weather turns cold. Blood viscosity. In cold weather, your blood becomes more viscous or thicker. This is partly due to changes in fibrinogen levels, a protein that helps blood clot, and increased platelet aggregation. The platelet problem. Your platelets are the cells responsible for clotting. In winter, these platelets become stickier. They are more likely to clump together than they are in the summer. When you combine narrower pipes, vasoconstriction, with thicker, stickier blood viscosity, you have the perfect recipe for a blockage. Imagine trying to pump thick maple syrup through a thin straw in the cold. It's nearly impossible. That is the level of strain your heart is under every single morning during a winter cold snap. This is why sudden heart attacks aren't actually sudden. They are the result of a system being pushed past its mechanical breaking point. Part 4. The vitamin D and inflammation connection. We cannot talk about the health hustle without talking about the sunlight vitamin. In countries like India, vitamin D deficiency is already an epidemic. But in winter, this deficiency hits a critical low: the sunlight gap. Many of us stay indoors to avoid the cold, or the sky remains overcast for days. When your vitamin D levels drop, your arteries lose a layer of protection. Vitamin D is a powerful anti-inflammatory. It helps maintain the endothelium, the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels. When vitamin D is low, The inner lining of the arteries becomes inflamed. Existing cholesterol plaques become unstable. Think of a scab that is about to fall off. The nitric oxide production in your vessels drops, making them less flexible and more prone to snapping or tearing under pressure. This is why winter isn't just a cold problem, it's a nutrient problem. Your heart is literally starving for the solar fuel it needs to keep the vessels supple. Part 5. The Lifestyle Storm, Parties, Sweets, and Sloth. Physiology is only half the story. The other half is how we behave. In the health hustle community, we talk about the metabolic storm. This is where biology meets bad habits. The holiday trap. December and January are months of celebration. Weddings, festivals, New Year's parties. Our routine shifts from maintenance to indulgence. Overeating. We consume massive amounts of sugar and refined flour, the high-fat gravies. We gravitate toward heavy, cream-based or ghee-based foods, thinking they warm the body. The sedentary shift. Because it's cold, we stop moving. We skip the gym. We skip the morning walk. We stay under the blanket. When you eat a heavy, fatty meal, your triglycerides shoot up. High triglycerides make your blood even thicker than the cold already made it. If you eat a heavy dinner and then go to sleep in a cold room, your heart rate slows down, your blood flow becomes sluggish, and that sticky blood starts to pool. This is why so many heart attacks happen in the early hours of the morning, 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Part 6. The Early Morning Walk Myth. This is perhaps the most controversial but important point I will make today. I often see people who are very dedicated to their health. They say, "Nina, I never miss my 5 a.m. walk, no matter how cold it is." I want to tell you, stop. In the early morning, your body is at its most vulnerable. Cortisol spike. Your stress hormone is naturally at its peak to wake you up. This increases your heart rate and blood pressure. The chilled air. When you step out into 4 degrees Celsius or 5 degrees Celsius air at 5 a.m., the thermal shock causes an immediate, massive constriction of your arteries. The double burden. Your heart is already dealing with a morning BP spike. Now it has to fight the cold-induced narrowing of the vessels. Every year, I hear stories of people collapsing during their early morning winter walks. If you want to hustle for your health, you must be smart. Don't walk when it's pitch black and freezing. Wait until the sun is up. Walk at 10 a.m. or 4 p.m. when the temperature has stabilized. Your heart will thank you for the extra few degrees of warmth. Part 7. Identifying the silent signals. We often ignore the warning signs because we blame the season. This is a fatal mistake. The gas trap. In winter, people often feel a heaviness in their chest or a burning sensation. What do they say? "Oh, it's just acidity from that heavy dinner. It's just gas because I haven't moved much today. My chest feels tight because of the cold air." The reality, angina, heart pain, can feel exactly like indigestion. If you feel pressure, tightness, or a squeezing sensation that travels to your jaw or left arm, it is not gas. The problem is the delay. The longer you wait, thinking it's acidity, the more heart muscle dies. In the health hustle philosophy, we have a rule. If in doubt, check out. It is better to have an unnecessary ECG than to miss a necessary intervention. Part 8. The 7-step winter heart guard. How do we fight back? How do we stay health hustle strong when the world is freezing? Here are your 7 non-negotiable rules. Layer up. Especially the chest, don't just wear one heavy coat. Wear layers. This traps air between the clothes and provides better insulation. Protect your head and ears, as a massive amount of heat is lost there. Strategic hydration. In winter, we don't feel thirsty, so we stop drinking water. Dehydration makes the blood thicker. Drink warm water throughout the day to keep your blood volume stable. The vitamin D protocol. Get your levels checked. If they are below 30 nanograms per milliliter, consult a professional about supplementation. You cannot protect your arteries without this vitamin. Shift your walk. Move your exercise to the sun window. If you must stay indoors, do 20 minutes of yoga or spot marching. Keep the blood flowing without the thermal shock. The salt and sugar shield. Winter makes us crave salt and sugar, fried snacks and sweets. Salt increases water retention and BP. Sugar increases inflammation. Keep these at a minimum. The 2-hour movement rule. Don't sit under a blanket for 5 hours straight. Every 2 hours, get up and move for 5 minutes. This prevents blood from pooling in your legs, DVT, and keeps circulation active. Listen to the squeeze. If you feel chest gas that doesn't go away with an antacid or a burp, go to the emergency room. Part 9. The 4 worst winter foods. We often think these are health foods or strength foods for the cold, but they are often the silent triggers for a cardiovascular event. 1. Excessive gajar ka halwa, the sugar fat bomb. Carrots are great, but the traditional halwa is loaded with refined sugar, heavy ghee, and khoya, reduced milk solids. This combination causes an immediate spike in blood glucose and a delayed spike in triglycerides. This sludge hits your blood precisely when your vessels are already constricted from the cold. 2. Heavy heating non-veg curries, mutton/butter chicken/paya. People eat these thinking they heat the body from the inside. While protein is good, the saturated fat in these heavy gravies is immense. Furthermore, reheating these oils repeatedly, common in winter parties, creates trans fats and high homocysteine levels, which directly damage the arterial walls. 3. Deep-fried comfort foods, samosas/pakoras. The combination of tea and fried snacks is a winter staple. However, these are trans fat traps. They increase systemic inflammation, measured by CRP levels. Inflammation is the match that lights the fire of a heart attack. 4. High-sodium soups and canned foods. We think soup is healthy, but commercial or highly salted homemade soups are sodium bombs. Excess sodium causes your body to hold on to water, which increases the volume of blood your heart has to pump. In a constricted winter artery, this extra volume can lead to a pipe burst or heart attack. Conclusion: your heart, your hustle. Your heart is a muscle that never takes a day off. It beats over 100,000 times a day for you. In the winter, it is working overtime just to keep you warm. Don't make its job harder by ignoring the science. The winter heart attack is not an inevitability. It is a result of a system being overloaded. By staying warm, staying hydrated, moving at the right time, and avoiding the fat traps, you can enjoy the beauty of the season without the risk. You are the CEO of your body. You have the data, you have the protocol, and now you have the plan. Don't wait for a warning sign. Start your Health Hustle Winter Shield today. If this masterclass helped you understand your body better, please hit the like button. Share this with your parents, your friends, and your community. Let's make this winter a season of health, not a season of hospital visits. Stay warm, stay active, and stay healthy. Hustle. I'll see you in the next one.